What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news, so if you haven't already, do subscribe. It's free. Also, don't forget, social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's transfer update. We're aiming for 300 likes, and also don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below. So we've got no contract news to speak about today. We've got no ins to talk about either, but we do have plenty for me to get my teeth into when it comes to the outs, and that has to start being Manchester City's priority. Now, we've got the very latest on Jahmai Simpson-Pusey, and Pete O'Rourke has said that there are multiple clubs in the Championship and also in the top division in Scotland that have expressed an interest to Manchester City to take Simpson-Pusey on loan from Manchester City. Personally, I feel like a loan into the Championship would be a good move. I don't have too much of a problem with him being loaned out to the top division in Scotland. It's all about game time for me. It's all about where is he going to go and learn and improve, because I don't really see the point in Simpson-Pusey being loaned out for him to sit on the bench or not make the first team squad for successful teams in the Championship or in Scotland. What you want is for him to be a regular starter, so he's getting that experience, he's learning, he's getting that development, and we're getting our answer about just what is the level we're looking at when we're looking at a high quality centre-back like Simpson-Pusey. And I think it's just something that City need to think about, and I certainly think it's something that Manchester City could improve upon when it comes to sorting out high quality loans for our high quality young players. If a player is just going to be loaned out to a club, they're going to be a fringe player, they're not really going to get to feature all that much, then I'd prefer for them to stay at Manchester City. I'd prefer for them to take advantage of the fantastic coaches and academy and the potential opportunities around the first team squad, and I'd prefer for them to stay, learn and develop here rather than end up frustrated. And time again when I do my loan reports when it comes to March of every year, and I'm always speaking about our high quality young players, some of them just not being given their opportunity, and it can get very frustrating, and it's very easy for high quality young players to just get stuck in the loan rut. And I rate Simpson-Pusey. I thought he showed real signs of maturity and quality when given his opportunity around the City first team squad last season, so I'm hoping that he can now take a step up, get a good loan, and be given plenty of minutes either in Scotland or in the Championship. So we'll see what does happen there, but yeah, excited for Simpson-Pusey. We'll see which clubs end up making a move, and when we do get developments on any loan transfers, I of course will keep you guys up to date here with my City transfer updates. Now, moving on, we've got a quick line on Ederson. Interest in this one. Now, Richard Jolly has said that Manchester City want to keep Ederson rather than sell him to Galatasaray, despite him having 11 months left on his Manchester City contract. Now, he says that if Ederson does end up leaving City this summer, then Manchester City want to turn their attention to signing James Trafford, a piece of information that we already know. Now, to me, this makes not too much sense to keep a player here whose head isn't fully at Manchester City. We want players who are committed to the club, committed to the cause, and if Ederson isn't going to be here past next season, then for me it would be better for him to move now, secure his transfer. We can still get a good amount, and we can sort out our goalkeeping situation. It was never an ideal situation to have both our first choice and second choice goalkeeper, their contracts running out at the same time. Manchester City do not want to, and I cannot emphasise this enough, you do not want two brand new goalkeepers being brought in at the same time, because if one doesn't work, then it complicates things when it comes to the other goalkeeper. So it's something that City need to seriously think about, and I think that's why Manchester City are wanting to target James Trafford, a very much an upcoming prospect for a goalkeeper who will be given opportunities around the first team, but won't necessarily be seen as City's first choice for the next 12 months. But then once you see both Ederson and Ortega leave, James Trafford would be the most experienced goalkeeper that we've got, and that's where he'd get given his opportunity, and Manchester City would probably then look to dip into the market, thinking about bringing in a second choice keeper whilst promoting James Trafford to the first choice goalkeeper. That would make a lot of sense, and the easiest way for us to go about doing so is obviously to sell one of Ederson or Stefan Ortega. So what Richard Jolly's saying here, it could make sense in terms of I wouldn't rule out that Stefan Ortega is the goalkeeper that leaves City this summer and not Ederson. I'm just not a big fan of keeping Ederson at the club if he doesn't want to be here. If he's happy to sign a new contract and commit his long-term future to the club, then fantastic. I can't see us signing James Trafford if that is the case. So it tells me that Ederson isn't going to be signing a new contract, and he's happy to stay at City for another season. And sooner or later, what's going to happen is he's going to start getting his head turned by thinking about his future elsewhere, his long-term future at another club. And you've got to be committed at the highest level in football. And if Ederson isn't going to sign a new contract, I wouldn't hesitate for him to be the goalkeeper that I would let go, so it doesn't stop Man City's progress, in particular in the long term when it comes to goalkeepers. What I don't want is for us to keep Ederson and Ortega here, miss out on James Trafford, and then we're going to end up with two good goalkeepers both having their contracts expire next summer and bringing in two brand new goalkeepers. It's not an ideal situation. It can get very messy very quickly. I know a lot of people have disputed what Richard Jolly has said, and that's the only real sense that I can really get from the article, because all other sources are suggesting that Ederson's agreed personal terms with Galatasaray, and Galatasaray are in negotiations with City to put in an offer to try and bring in Ederson to obviously to Turkey, to Galatasaray from Manchester City. So I don't really know what to make of it. It is a bit of an odd one, a bit messy, and I'll be honest that since the first part of the transfer window shut on June 10th, it has been a bit of a mess from Manchester City. The fact that we've still got lots of players who we want to get rid of still here at the club, and some of these players now returning back to first team training as of Monday. Manchester City, for me, have just let things go and they've put themselves under pressure. The summer's really long, yet the summer's now getting shorter and shorter, and we want to try and get things sorted as soon as possible. You want the players who aren't going to be here for next season out before pre-season starts, and the new players who are going to be here for pre-season. And we're facing the possibility of City still maybe bringing in 1, 2, maybe 3 more players, and we're certainly going to see a heck of a lot of outgoing. So it's just been too quiet for too long from Manchester City, and City have put, for me, a little too much emphasis on the players' breaks and holidays, which are of course very important, but there's no reason why you can't be sorting out the players' futures whilst they're relaxing, because that's what other clubs have done, and clubs now are ahead of us in the transfer market, doing some fantastic bits of business. Clubs are looking sharp in terms of their progress heading into pre-season, and Manchester City are just left picking up the pieces, and they're not going to be picking up them pieces until the players return on Monday. So that's a few more wasted days for Manchester City, and yeah, it's getting a bit of a mess, and Hugo Viana now has got a huge job between now and transfer deadline day on September 1st to get things sorted. So we'll see what does happen in terms of the goalkeeping situation, about the futures of Ederson and Ortega, and potentially bringing in James Trafford. Now, moving on to the final transfer, again another interesting one. The Sun have said that Real Madrid are wanting to test the water for Rodri very soon, and are preparing an offer to Manchester City worth up to £100 million. We were reporting the other day that Rodri is now the player that Real Madrid are wanting to bring in as their next big transfer. I would be very surprised if Manchester City or Rodri were to contemplate a transfer this summer, in particular when Rodri's still in the recovery stage of his ACL injury. It'd make more sense for Rodri to consider the future for the next season and then contemplate what he wants to do next summer. The problem is, again, from Manchester City, just a bit of a mess. Rodri's got just 2 years left on his contract. We can accumulate a really good amount for him this summer, so if Rodri wanted to leave, and that's a capital if Rodri wanted to leave, it'd make more sense for City to secure that sale this summer when he's worth far more with 2 years left on his contract than what we're dealing with next summer, which would be a 30-year-old with 1 year left on his contract. Ballon d'Or winner or not, you're not going to be accumulating a real good market value for a high-quality player when you're letting players run down the contracts. And we were reporting yesterday about Manchester City now realising that this is a priority to get Rodri onto to a new contract, and City need to sort that ASAP. As I said to you guys yesterday, we're getting to a point where Real Madrid will try and put as much pressure onto City and Rodri as possible. It's important that City don't crack here, and if that means Manchester City committing Rodri long-term to a new contract before he's completed his recovery from his ACL injury, then I would be prepared to take that risk, because Rodri is a high-quality professional. Everything points towards Rodri having a very successful recovery from his ACL injury and getting towards being a high-quality defensive midfielder. And after all, there is no other defensive midfielder that I would like at Manchester City. And to me, it's just something that City probably need to consider and start getting a move on, really, and getting this sorted, because what we don't want to do is lose an important player, the first name on the team sheet when he's fully fit, Rodri. So we don't want to lose a high-quality player like him. And Real Madrid, trust me, will do everything they can to make this transfer happen. I'm hoping that Rodri is going to take what happened at the Ballon D'Or ceremony last year as very disrespectful from Real Madrid, which to me, it was very disrespectful, and I'm hoping he's going to tell Real Madrid where to go and say, I'm committed to Manchester City, and he signs a new contract. It's how I see this playing out, but this Real Madrid link does give Rodri and his camp a perfect excuse to get more of a wage at Manchester City, and more than likely make him the second highest earner at the club behind Erling Haaland. We've already obviously let Kevin De Bruyne leave for free, so we've got space on the wage bill now to get Rodri tied down to a new contract. And if we can do that, we then need to start turning our focus towards obviously the outgoings, but also other players' contracts who we do want to renew, getting that sorted as well. And this is just, for me, this is something that City could have been sorting months and months back. And yeah, it's been frustrating. It's been a very frustrating window, this one. I can understand the frustrations. It's been frustrating for me reporting on it. Reporting on this news of Rodri frustrates me. Everything's getting very frustrating in this window, and I feel like things are just starting to boil over a little bit. So I'm hoping that Manchester City can act very promptly very soon and get things sorted. And it's even more frustrating that I'm just not expecting any movement or anything to happen or any clarification until at least Monday, which means a few more days wasted away in this transfer window. And there's a huge job to be done for Hugo Viana now when it comes to new contracts, when it comes to outgoings, when it comes to incomings as well. City have been quiet for too long in this window. Since June 10th, they've done very, very little, and we're at the boiling point now where we've got to start acting. So sooner rather than later. So over to you, Hugo Viana, please start getting things sorted. So that has been today's transfer update. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below the Rodri situation. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Do let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news, so do subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, and I'll see you all real soon for the next one. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.